to give you my answer to the title before we get into the actual reaction. I got 4 reasons why this is. In the case of little 4-year-old, you are. I ain't trying to do the drum roll. Okay, 4 reasons why this is not a clout chase. Try to be fake dramatic for a second. Reason number 1: East Coast versus West Coast. Now, it's always been a sensitive thing. Be clear, I'm a New Yorker. I know a lot of West Coasters. If you were there during that time and you was from the West Coast, and if you were there during that time and you are from the East Coast, I'm talking about Vibe magazine days. I'm talking about the Biggie Tupac war. I'm talking about Snoop Dogg kicking over buildings. I'm talking about Mobb Deep drop a gem on them. I'm talking about all of that, right? And of course, leading up to the passing of Tupac and Biggie. East Coast and West Coast has had like this sensitive relationship forever. Okay, it's real sensitive. It's really tough for the East Coast and West Coast to have a battle that's coastal and regional like that without the extra stuff coming in. It like you had to have been there, and that competitive rivalry has remained. You know, New York, we have our things where it's like, all right, well, where was hip hop born? West Coast, they got their things, like they innovated gangster rap. A lot of people would give them credit for that. Gang culture, of course, which also bled heavily into music over time and hip hop over time. You know, each coast has its areas that is dominated, pioneered, and inspired. I'm not going to be the guy that's up here that's going to take anything away from the West Coast, and I damn sure ain't going to take anything away from my coast, the East. But that rivalry is serious, okay? It really is there, and it ain't going nowhere forever. And you know, even if you get back to the like, y'all got NWA and the East got the Wu, and y'all got Dr. Dre and we got Jay, and y'all got Snoop and we got Nas. Like it's a forever thing. Because of the competitive nature of the two coasts, if we can have any type of battle that will stay hip hop, which I believe is always tricky, I'm keeping it 1,000. If we could ever have any coastal competitive hip hop nature between the two, it is the biggest coastal battle that is always going to be relevant in hip hop. Okay. You could never have that much emphasis on the South versus the North, or the South versus the East, or the South versus the West, or the West. None of that is ever going to be as relevant. So anytime there's an East Coast rapper and a West Coast rapper, right? And let's throw this in there. Like when Kendrick Lamar, being a West Coaster, drops Control and he starts talking about I'm the king of New York, look how much dust that shit kicked up. What? Let's save that for a second. Let's get to answer number 2, or reason number 2 why this is not a clout chase. All right. I just mentioned Control. Control, I give Kendrick Lamar a ton of credit for. It is competitive based. Right? The lyrics, I'm gonna butcher the lyrics, but you know, this is hip hop and you niggas should know what time it is. You know, I got love for you, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Make sure your core audience never heard of you. Like, what? The way he went at it. Now, he didn't say Joey Badass's name, but there's a lot of people whose names he didn't, that, you know, that actually responded from the East Coast and also competitively, right? There's a bunch of people. And just because your name wasn't mentioned doesn't mean that your name doesn't deserve to be mentioned, okay? So from a competitive nature, I've always been about that. And let's be clear. A lot of people want to think about, you know, where's Kendrick in his career and where's Joey Badass in his career. Joey Badass is a very established artist. Let's be clear. He's a very respected artist. Let's be clear. But Kendrick is number 1 right now. Kendrick is dominating the entire world, the charts, the numbers, Super Bowl halftime show coming up, albums charting and all of this. He's in another stratosphere. This is absolutely one of the most, if not the most dominant years for a solo hip hop artist ever. Okay. So Kendrick is all the way up there. And right now, because of that type of status and what he's doing right now, Joey Badass is all the way down there right now. All right. I'm keeping it 1,000. But from a competitive aspect, this is hip hop, right? This is why we're so pissed off at J. Cole, right? This is why we respected the Control song dropping, right? Because it's about competition. It's about I'm Mr. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I'm Mr. from the battle rap side, and this is all battle rap, right? That I came in and I changed the game with that. And I said, all this top tier, mid tier, and low tier stuff, and those are the only matchups that we can make that make sense in these cards for y'all and these events for y'all. No, no. New Year Order is the start. After that, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, where I could see a Daylight versus a Oops and get a classic million view battle, by the way. Right? The whole game is like that now. Rookies and vets and close range and Organic versus Gully. And they're all renditions of Blood, Sweat, and Tears where we can now mix the artists. I don't care how long you've been here, how deep your resume is, how prestigious you are, how many classic battles you have, how much your views are. The guy down here is just as nice. And we want to see y'all go at it. So I got to kind of throw out the window when we got to talk about levels, because competition is competition. If Joey Badass can go ball for ball with Kendrick Lamar, I'm not saying that he can. But if it could be an interesting rap battle, I'm here for it. All right. That's the second reason why this is not a clout chase. The third reason why this is not a clout chase is a little bit more on the chessboard and the tactical side. I think Kendrick Lamar is in a great position for anybody to want to battle him. It's not like Kendrick Lamar just had this dominant year, and it's only because he's just dropped his random records, you know, and they've been charting and they've all been exploding. Let's be real. This year for him is still rooted in beef and the actual rap battle with Drake. So if you're gonna be going through the roof because you're rap battling, right? And somebody comes out and says, I want a shot. I mean, when Tyson was knocking everybody out, I'm sure there was a couple people, whether it was for a check or whatever, it's a couple people that still said, I'll get in the ring with him. I know he's knocking everybody out right now. I know he's the man right now. I know he's the youngest champion of all time right now, but I'll fight him. You know what I'm saying? But chessboard wise, if Kendrick has put himself in that space where it's hard for him to denounce a rap battle because that is the biggest piece of your success this year and your biggest year and one of the biggest years as a solo artist ever, then you can't just frown up when somebody wants to battle you. You can't just frown up. You can't just say, oh, I'm not here for battles. Why not? So chess-wise, it actually makes sense for another artist, whether Joey Badass or somebody else, to say, all right, you're here for that, right? Let me get in there. Let me get in the mix. I want to fight. Rick Ross did it. We allowed him to jump into the beef real quick, right? We didn't really feel like he had too much musically to do with it, but he jumped into the shit. You know what I'm saying? He got punched in the face later on behind it, possibly. But I mean, chessboard wise, let's add this fact as well. Technically, Kendrick can't even respond. So Joey Badass gets to get a free shot. He gets to get a free shot. It's the hands tied behind your back, and Joey Badass gets to walk up to Kendrick and punch him in his face. Now, if Kendrick gives him a little shot, you know, give him a little G and next type of Snoop shot or something like that. Like, damn, I hope it was the edibles type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good for Joey Badass. That's dope for him. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's going to turn to that and be like, oh, what's up? And then Joey Badass will respond, and people will pay attention. They'll react to it. They'll cover it. It'll be headlines, just like Joey Badass is everybody's hip hop headlines right now. As far as battling, he came out, he dissed Kendrick Lamar and the West Coast, by the way. But he did take a shot at the whole coast. That's going to be mixed into my fourth reason and my final one. But Kendrick, like, think about his last five tweets. They say it's the most historic consecutive 5 tweets of all time. All right. Tweet 1 is Euphoria. Tweet 2 is 616 release. Tweet 3 is Meet the Grams release. Tweet 4 is Not Like Us release. Tweet 5 is the Super Bowl halftime show announcement. Those are his consecutive 5 tweets. You can't get a better 5 tweets than that. Back to back. You talk about the boogeyman, right? Like, yeah, he lived up to it. But it's a free shot. It's a free shot because Kendrick, you're now in the damned if I do, damned if I don't, which is almost what Drake might have felt like when the Control verse dropped. He got a little emotional with it, like, oh, is it real? Is it really real? Then why would you do that? Okay, people gonna talk about it for a month or two. No, years later, we're still talking about Control, by the way. So he went the emotional route. Whatever. I don't know. Drake finally got some skin to him and said, all right, let me compete with you, right? But Kendrick been slapping that Drake for a second, like, are we gonna fight? Are we gonna fight? All right. But yo, that's kind of a box on the low. That's a box. Can Kendrick turn that much focus towards anybody else that's dissing him right now? I mean, you gotta be mega to get that man's time. And even if you do get that man's time right now, you know, we're seeing little videos going around the web right now of him and Dave Free. It looks like they're plotting on the chessboard about how to move forward with this year and, you know, their targets. Like his chessboard has been so meticulous thus far. If he jumps off of this chessboard to entertain Joey, like would Joey Badass be the person really to get you off of your course and make you do this like little submission over here? Nah, Kendrick just seems too calculated, too planned out, too chessboardy. It's not gonna happen. So once again, in the midst of all that, Joey Badass gets a free punch. Gets a free punch. It's damned if I do, damned if I don't, and it's a win-win either way for Joey Badass. The fourth and the final reason before we get into this video of why this is not a clout chase. This is me keeping it 1,000, man, and it hurts me to say. New York needs it. We need it. We fucking need it right now, man. Like, all right, you got Fabio Foreign out there. Shout out to Fabio. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Shmurda is he doing anything right now? And Rowdy Rebel and their whole Shmurda movement, that would have been great right now, especially with New York drill picking up. You know, you got Youngin in jail. That was one of the top guys, Flock or whatever, from New York, the New York drill scene. He's in jail right now. She's kind of New York drillish, but she then started to mix in all the other stuff, and she looks like she's falling. And I don't even like her shit really anymore. And she's starting to get annoying, and she changed the whole image. I'm talking about Ice Spice. Like, that's one of our New York faces right now. Ice Spice. Like, I'm good. You know, our goats are always around. You know, you're gonna get a Jada Kiss. He just dropped some shit with Al Bial, right? And that's a dope track. Like our goats is always around. You're gonna get Fab. He's gonna be moving around year round. You're gonna get Jada Kiss dropping features. Jay-Z's more on the business side these days. I hope all of this moves towards an album for him because that tends to be what he uses to address everything that's going on. Nas is around, you know, Nas here, you know, he shows his face, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, we got our representatives out there heavy, but I'm talking about this new era and this new wave, right? Those guys are considered our OGs, right? Just like Snoop and Dre, like those are the Coasters OGs. They're already stamped and certified. This whole new young wave, you do need the people like Fabio Foreign or ASAP Rocky or hopefully Bobby. I think Bobby might be done, and it sucks to say that, but I think he might be done. But the Bobby Schmurders of the world, you know, you need these people to step up. Ice Spice is not gonna do it at all. I don't even want her to do it, even if she could. I just want, I'm not hating. I just want her to be able to do her little pocket of music or whatever, you know, put some weight back on. That's personal preference. All right, let's get into this video, man. Those are the 4 reasons why I don't believe that this is a clout chase. I would actually be a hypocrite if I thought so, because I created Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and I think it's applying here. Joey Badass is a great artist, and if he wants to throw a rock at the throne, let him. I don't mean that he can win that type of battle. Doesn't mean that it's even going to force it into a battle. But this is hip hop, right? So don't be pissed off at J. Cole on one side and then turn to Joey Badass when he gets on a beat and throws his shots at anybody and say, oh, you're a clout chaser. Why? Because Kendrick happens to be, I don't give a fuck what throne you're sitting in. I'm here to rap. Let's respect that, people. Okay? Let's respect that. All right. Let's get to this reaction. Let's see what's going on here. There's a lot of videos that's popping up now breaking down this whole Kendrick and Joey Badass thing.
Now, as we just entered a new year, things in hip-hop are already off to a wild start because setting the tone for what's to come as rap enters its next chapter. We have had an MC come out of nowhere and not just call out and challenge the king of hip hop in Kendrick Lamar, but beyond just a single MC, the entire West Coast as a whole with none other than Joey Badass, and with what Joey has just done. Before Kendrick or any West Coast artist can do anything this year and continue what has been one of the greatest runs we have seen from a region in hip hop in a very long time, Joey is trying to stomp on things with his new song, The Ruler's Back, and is attempting to shift rap spotlight on not just him, but the entire East Coast as a whole. And now, before we get into what Joey said to Kendrick on this track and how this moment is only going to make hip hop even more competitive than ever, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now, with this new track from Joey, everything about this song is not just trying to make a grand statement to kick off 2025 in hip hop, but this record is working as a way for Joey to claim the title as the King of New York and then use this power as the leader of this region to declare that he is going to be coming for the spot that Kendrick and the West Coast have been controlling ever since he won the Drake beef and united his region like we have never seen it. But now,
Yeah, you got to give Kendrick props the way he united his region like that. It's massive. I mean, as big as a region or these coasts represent in the hip hop grand scheme of things, to unite the coast and to just. But anyway, that's one thing that I didn't say in my 4 reasons, right? Joey Badass, he's alluding to being the king of New York. I would say he could never be the let me I got a little bit of a New York bias in me, man, and I want to see any of these guys, be able to hold it down. And Joey Badass, look at it like this for a second. One thing that all right, listen, this is a podcast, so I don't got to rush, right? Whether it could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, hour long podcast, whatever. We here. Let's talk about what the West Coast always represented. The West Coast always represented gangster rap. Um, and they have this very unique sound and unique bounce, especially in the Bay, that just can never be replicated. So they have a whole pocket and a whole, s- you know, area of hip hop that they filled, and it's beautiful. Um, the South, we never talk about the North really, like, but anyway, I'll get to that in a second. Um, the South, man, trap music, um, even some of that aggressive, the production, and they've had they had one of the biggest runs in hip hop as well. The South, when they had it, think about it. They had Jeezy on the scene, they had Ti on the scene. You had Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. Lil Jon was mega. This guy was doing Chappelle skits and all like Lil Jon was mega. He ain't no rapper, but he's mega. Um, you got the Hot Boys, and I mean, you got No Limit. Um, you got Outkast. You got Goody Mob. Um, shit, like the South went insane, and even some of their smaller artists were coming up and creating hits because they just had the like No Breeze and who's some people that didn't hang around that long? Young Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Oh, damn, I miss Ludacris. Ludacris. Like these are mega. The South came on and they said, "Oh, I can't leave my guy Pastor Troy out. That's my guy, Troy." Um, Even DSGB had a little moment, right? it was mega. It was Crime Mob. Like it was mega. It's mega, 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 mega. What the South created, and they still have their spot, right? The East Coast. I don't need to run down, all the goats and legends, and because the East Coast is just it's loaded. It's loaded, man. Um, you got people that you just can't touch. The Jay-Z's, the Nas's, the LL Cool J's, the I'm not even gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But the East Coast has always been known for lyricism. That's always been the reputation and the stereotype around the East Coast. You guys are the rappers, okay? And there's great rappers everywhere else. Like the Game on the West Coast, he'll rap circles around a lot of people. Kendrick obviously will rap circles around a lot of people. You go to the South, Ludacris, he could rap as that. Ti could rap as. I'm not saying that there's no lyricists in these other coasts. Of course there is, but the East Coast always dominated that category. It always dominated that category. And this is another reason why when we stop for a second, we say, can Joey Badass really represent the king of the New York? So even the word king, it's kind of defined in a different way. Like, are we talking about this new era of guys that's carrying a torch? I don't know if Joey Badass has the type of appeal that could carry a torch. Because when we talk about who's carrying the torch, I think that artist needs to be able to impact every area. Okay. Unfortunately, an area of carrying a torch includes charting, includes the actual commercial success. And I know when we're talking about hip hop, we're not supposed to focus as heavy on the numbers or commercial success, but that's still a part of torch carrying. When they all get up on stage, the game and Doc and Snoop and all that, and they give the torch to Kendrick, Kendrick ends up charting. Like, and he was always kicking ass with his numbers. Um, Jay-Z and Nas and like these people, they're chart. See, Joey Badass, he's got kind of like, especially in this Rulers Back diss track that just dropped, he's also representing imagery. And when I say imagery, you're talking about like your swag and your aura. He's paying attention to how he's dressing. He's talking about his outfit and everything like that. Which even your presentation, that's all. That's what ASAP Rocky wins. Drake tried to diss him for that, right? Like, we only talk about you when we're talking about what you're wearing or some shit like that. Wasn't that one of the lyrics, one of the shots he took? But that's still part of the overall sale. People buying into you, people wanting to be like you. When they say the women want to be with you and the men want to be like you got it. Does Joey Badass ever fill a void like that, where it's just like the women want to be with you and the guys want to be like you? Right. So when you're talking about carrying a torch, Joey Badass to me comes off almost like, let's say, like a Papoose in that realm, right? Where it's like, damn, this guy is super talented. This guy also represents what the coast represents, which is he's a true lyricist. He's respected. Um, he stands next to almost anybody on track and does his thing. Right. If you look at Papoose resume of the amount of people that he featured, he's got a feature with everybody. If you look at Papoose catalog, for y'all to really know this shit, right? And Joey Badass, he's similar to me, but carrying the torch is just more than rap ability. It's just more than that. That's why ASAP Rocky is a bigger star than Joey Badass. And it's not. This was even before Rihanna, because I know Rihanna will turn you up too. Just like Beyonce adds to Jay-Z, even though he was already, but she adds, like, even before Rihanna, ASAP Rocky, he had more of the star quality to him. And that's part of carrying a torch. So Joey Badass, I think he could step out. I think he's talented enough to step out on a front line and say, this is New York. What's up? 100%. But this is New York, and I'm now carrying the torch as the king. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, continue to prove me wrong in that respect. I'd love to see it. I'm gonna support it. I'll fuck with Joey Badass, but just a thought to hold on to there.
Now, before Joey even gets into going at the competition and Kendrick specifically, he makes it very clear on this song that when it comes to New York itself, that he is the king of this city by carrying the mantle that greats have before him. Which, from the title itself, which is paying homage to both Jay-Z and his iconic intro track from The Blueprint, and also before that, Slick Rick, who in his time was considered the king as well, just by being the next person in line to take this iconic title.
Slick Rick during his time was considered the king. I was there. He was one of them. He was one of the top guys. He had the king. Slick Rick's era includes also Chris, right? KRS-One. And it also includes a guy by the name of Big Daddy Kane, right? Slick Rick's first album is timeless. Children's story. And I mean, Slick Rick is Slick Rick. And then you talk about, look, I just said the topic of your image and your appeal and how people buy into you. He still got people replicating what he did and his swag and the jewelry. That bled into people like Ghostface. right? You see him doing pictures with like Drake, where Drake is trying to put all his chains on and all that. And then when he went to jail and he came home and he turned it all from yellow to white to switch to the times. Were y'all there? I was there when Slick Rick came home and then he jumped into all the platinum and the white gold. I was like, oh yeah, Slick Rick is one of them guys. But I can't put Slick Rick over a Big Daddy Kane. I know LL kind of started at the tail end of that. Rakim, I take Rakim over Slick Rick. Um, these are all goats, so this doesn't detract from anybody when I'm doing these type of comparisons. But I was just curious when I heard that for a second. Like, was Slick Rick ever the undisputed king? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Title. Joey is now walking with the moniker that two of the faces of his city in eras past used to hold. And by doing this, he is just trying to raise the stakes to come at Kendrick and the West altogether. And now on the actual song itself, through Joey's opening line, he continues to prove that when it comes to New York MCs, he is still the very best, despite him being inactive recently. And after Joey talks about where he has been and claims that he is now back for good in hip hop, he gets ready to at least try and compete with someone who most rappers are just scared of altogether in Kendrick, as he says, "I got murals in my city, F a nomination, this for every time they left me out the conversation." And now with these bars, and remember, Joey isn't like other rappers who have backed away from dissing Kendrick with their lines, as he is an elite enough MC where everything coming from his pen that is pointing to something we can all understand is intentionally written that way. This line about having murals in his city is clearly Joey's way of trying to put himself on the same level as Kendrick, as of course this is mirroring Kendrick's GNX intro track, Whacked Out Murals. And possibly with Joey talking about his mural in a way that just expresses how much his city loves him, as opposed to Kendrick's track where it's talking about the mixed.
Hey, so if y'all want me to reach, why not? Hey, West Coasters, why did y'all whack out Kendrick's mural? If Kendrick is so community based, so culture based, so much of a West Coast representative, has put on for y'all, has been dropping dope albums, stayed true, his credibility's there, from the hood, he's affiliated, or like, why was his mural whacked out? I mean, no matter who you are, there's haters everywhere. All right, that's the easiest answer. But West Coasters, is there a bigger story to that? Is it a gang thing? You know, because we know his affiliation, right? Why was his mural whacked out? Okay, Blessed Bet It says gang politics. I mean, he says whacked out, right? Did he spell it with two C's? Malcolm says gang politics. Okay. That's the only thing that would make sense to me, right? A Mexican gang whacked it out. Sean Harris, he's done a lot of Mexican based support in his most recent video, like the squabble up and everything. Like, he's represented their culture a lot out there. I'm just checking what my West Coast is. Yeah, Mexicans did it right. Another person is saying the electric grid is also saying gang politics. All right, everybody. It seemed like y'all. I mean, I don't know. Y'all put me on. Okay, gang politics. Okay, all right. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me.
Reception somebody of his status gets. This also could be seen as a further dig to Kendrick in the West by trying to say that his entire city is behind him and nobody would even think to do what they did to Kendrick's mural. And with Joey saying F a nomination, this seems to be his way of again trying to pull down Kendrick's status by saying that this respect he has from where he is from means more than any big award nominations that Kendrick could ever get. And when it comes to angles that rappers have tried to pick
that, so in the reality of things, that's not going to be true, especially how the landscape of hip hop plays out. But angle wise, that's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, come on, we're talking about hip hop, we're talking about competing, we're talking about rap. You know, painting a picture that they would never whack out my mural where I'm from. You're the biggest guy out there and they play with you like that, there must be something else to it. Makes people think a little bit. And we're just doing the battle rap dissecting thing right there. So I like the angle. I ain't gonna lie.
Kendrick apart from. As we have already seen in the past, since this is very tough, this angle of Kendrick winning too many awards seems to be an angle they like to go in, so this would make a lot of sense that this is about Kendrick. And now from here and painting this bigger picture of where Joey was at when Kendrick and Drake were going back and forth.
That is not true. Joe Budden um, skill wise, can be ranked amongst any rapper in the world. Joey Badass does not meet that level. I haven't gotten that from Joey Badass yet. I don't see that yet. Joe Budden has proven that already to me. Um, if I wanted to have just like a simple example of that, I personally think one of the greatest bar for bar rappers of all time, the only person that can do what Eminem does, has done what he done, and stands next to him on albums as well as singles, as well as tracks, and sometimes wins or at least holds up his end of the bargain. Royce the 5'9". And Royce the 5'9" used to be part of a group called Slaughterhouse. And guess who dominated a lot of those songs? Royce the 5'9", but also who dominated them as well. Weapon Waste as well. Joel Ortiz is Joel. Shout out to my nigga Joel. Weapon Waste is Waste. You know what I'm saying? That's Crook, by the way. But Joe Budden, he spanked a lot of them tracks. And right, I mean, they were all, that's why that group is just like fuck, because the talent makeup of them. But Joe Budden has stood next to some of the best verses and some of the greatest talents for not just, oh, let's just do this quick feature the way that Jay-Z and Eminem did, and you get Renegade. I'm talking about Joe Budden making albums and work being on tour and yeah, all this time around these type of pens. And that's just the Slaughterhouse example, right? Joe Budden, did Jay-Z avoid him? I don't know. I don't know. Is the Mood Music series top 3 or argue the best musical series on mixtapes of all time? I don't know. Mood Music 1, the worst of Joe Budden. I love the name within itself. Mood Music 2, it's got tracks like Dumb Out on it. Dumb Out is the forever track to play if anybody ever disrespects Joe Budden's name. If anybody ever comes around and says, "Oh, who's that? The Pump It Up guy?" Whatever, just say, "Just play Dumb Out," and then the conversation is over. Mood Music 3 had shit like Dear Diary on it. Mood Music 4, like what was Mood Music 4? It had like Black Clouds and all that type of shit. Like that series of mixtape alone is so classic. Like you got to go get the G Unit mixtapes to say, all right, let's put it on the table with the Mood Music series. You got to get shit like that. You got to go get like Lil Wayne to combat Mood Music when you're talking about mixtapes. Jeezy can't do it because Jeezy has some classic mixtapes. Like, of course, Trap or Die is epic. It's a top 5 mixtape of all time, right? Even his most recent one that dropped that got Dirk on and everybody. That's a serious mixtape. And in between, he's had dope mixtapes as well. I'm talking about a series. So when you talk about like Lil Wayne, The Drought, and his DJ drama shit, or you talk about like Mood Music as a series once again. Like Fab got a series. I forget the name of it. I'm going blank. Um, but Joe's series of mixtape is that. Is that. And even outside of Mood Music, he's and outside of Slaughterhouse, he's done. Man, listen, I could keep going. And I'm such yeah. Dedication is another one. Yeah, that's the series I was talking about for Fab, the Soul Tapes. Good looking Corey. Dedication and The Drought, of course. Y'all are with me. Y'all are with me. Y'all are with me. Yeah, we all on the same page. I got my hip hop heads in here, man. I fuck with y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. But nah, Joey Badass is not. There's a time, no bullshit. I know there's a lot of people that are like indifferent about Joe Budden. Some people understand and realize and know that his talent level is ranked amongst the greatest of all time. And there's other people that just like Joe Budden. Fuck. And I think some of that is because of some of the shit he's gotten into over the years. Like he's got a recent situation going on right now. I didn't even cover it. I left it alone because Joe is my guy. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Joe. But I think that's the reason why people sometimes get indifferent about him. But if you strip away all of that other stuff that makes you think about it and you just focus on his lyrical ability, there's reasons why you will bump into people that will debate that he's just as good as the best of all time. that he's just as good as the Jay-Z's. He's just as good as the, did he have those type of accolades? Did he drop a classic album, like a real album? He's got good albums, but no classics. His classic stuff is more so on the mixtape side of things. Now, for me, the blood, sweat, and tears guy, right? My mentality back then is the same way it is now. Music is music. A battle is a battle. An artist is an artist. So I got into a period with rap and hip hop, especially me being a New Yorker and taking my 2 times a week trips to fucking Canal Street and certain blocks downtown Manhattan, that where I had some of my stores and some of my DJs that really had it. They was on top of everything, my Clues, my K-Slaves, my, like, they had everything. Then the DVD era came after that. But when I was really, really, really on top of my game like that, like there was Joe Budden versus Banks mixtapes. I got them. There was Joe Budden versus Jay-Z tapes. I got them. That I always thought that that's one of the reasons why 50 Cent started to diss Jay-Z. I mean, Joe Budden. I thought it was a chessboard move of him clearing the lane for Banks because there was a lot of Banks and Joe Budden talk. And 50 was using his power to push aside Joe Budden a little bit and clear the lane further for Lloyd Banks. That's what I always thought it was. You know, and we got some classic diss tracks out of that too. The Joe Budden and 50 Cent beef, like, and diss tracks was dope. Joe Budden and Game. Joe, man, listen, he really is one of those guys. Joey Badass is dope, but I've never had an argument or a debate with people that said Joey Badass is amongst the GOATs, ability wise. Joe Budden does have that debate over years. People do that with him, with his name. So, you know, I'm just calling a spade a spade.
As Joey talks about how he was sitting on vacation, watching everything that was going on from an eagle eye and trying not to react. Knowing where hip hop has been at and how competitive things have been as a result of the West win and dominance, and how much the East Coast has been left out of everything because the genre has just been moving past what they have had to offer recently. Again, everything Joey is saying here seems to be very intentional on his end, in his way of really leading his coast forward and also just proving himself to be a worthy opponent to Kendrick Lamar altogether. Which, before we even go any further into this and really look at the bars that are about to start rap's next great competition, seeing Joey just actually come out and write bars that are clearly alluding to everything Kendrick Lamar did and are actually trying to compete with him, whether you believe he can or not. I mean, you got to give the guy credit for actually wanting to compete and not running away and apologizing to Kendrick like so many other rappers before him have. And now, speaking of apologizing, on the second verse of this track, Joey makes it clear that he is serious about taking on Kendrick and everyone else on the West Coast, and that he has never wanted the throne of rap music more, because here, he goes on to call out the entire West Coast by name as he says, "Too much West Coast licking," which is also a direct reference to Jay-Z's opening line from his track 22 Twos, which again shows him leaning into the roots of the people who wore the crown of his city before him more and more. And within this section of the track, as Joey uses the phrase throwing rocks when he is talking about how people in the West Coast music isn't sticking, it seems like this bar is doubling down on the fact that this track is calling out Kendrick and the entire coast, as again, Joey isn't just using language here that is synonymous with Kendrick Lamar and the way he is rapped, but he is then utilizing Kendrick's language to call out other West Coast rappers around him who he feels are not actually performing as well as people have been saying they are, which has been a criticism people have had about the West beyond what Kendrick and Tyler have been doing. And as later in this verse, Joey also references Ether, which is a nod to not just another King of New York and Nas, but of course also one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. He is starting to tell us exactly the type of energy he is going to be on in 2025. And then as Joey mirrors another Nas bar, which is from after he won his beef with Jay-Z from his Stillmatic track Your Demand, which he also then flips to be about Kendrick as he talks about how Kendrick is too short to box with him. And connecting this even more, right before this line, he says that his raps are making Black Air Force energy come out your speaker, which then, if we remember, Kendrick dropped a song in 2024 where Black Air Forces were the cover. When you look at all these lines and then also know just how good and, more importantly in this era that we are in, intentional of a writer Joey is, everything about this song, from the lyrics, the title, to even the video, which from Joey's style to the environment he's in, all represents the East Coast at its pinnacle. all indicates that Joey knew the message he was sending out here, and as he ends this track saying that he's nowhere near done yet, you can see that after this initial challenge to Kendrick and the West Coast, which is telling him that him and the East is coming, he seems to be doubling down on the fact that he is going to be back and he will be trying to prove to us that every word he said is true. And now with this entire performance and track from Joey, I mean, again, no matter how you feel and if you think that he can compete with Kendrick, in an era where everyone from 21 Savage to Big Sean ran away when they were even speculated to be dissing Kendrick, this is a bold move, and it is what hip-hop is about at its pinnacle in terms of just being competitive and coming at the people who are at the top of the game. And in terms of this competitive and battle rap aspect, this is all just great for the genre, especially because Joey says in this song that we can run a fair one, which seems to be another direct line to Kendrick, where just like when Kendrick said to Drake on Euphoria that their beef could be friendly, Joey is telling him that he isn't going to be resorting to the petty and pathetic moves that Drake relied on to supplement for his lack of skill in the beef, and instead is just going to be going about this thing MC to MC, which beyond showing Joey respects hip-hop culture at its very core, which we have all known, this also means on his end that he believes in his abilities to go against even the best rapper and the guy who has had the most dominant performance in a beef that we have ever seen without anything that is distracting from the pure art form of the bars. But with all of this said, with Joey doing all of this and setting up this entire moment where he is now going to try and not just challenge the best rapper in the world right now, but also the best region, which also includes other top-tier MCs like Tyler, the Creator, who himself is running rap more than anyone else besides Kendrick, and then other elite lyricists who all just released great albums like Schoolboy Q, Absol, and many others. Joey is really against a lot, and it's going to take a lot more than this single moment to show that he is truly worthy to even rival some of the other guys on the West Coast not named Kendrick right now. And really with what Joey is saying here, while it's a respectable move to try and bring the East back up this way, especially in this time where everything has been about the West, and in terms of the grand lineage of hip-hop, the East versus West rivalry is something equivalent to the Yankees and Red Sox or the Celtics and Lakers. Still, to actually be successful and make this a worthwhile competition, Joey really needs to have a plan and network of other MCs who are going to restore the feeling of New York hip-hop the same way Kendrick did for the West. Because right now with Joey, if you are trying to put the East back on the map in a way where it can compete with the Coast that arguably just released the best 3 albums of 2024 with Kendrick's GNX, Tyler's Chromacopia, and Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips, other guys are going to need to step it up and not just improve. But
even though I was going into my classic mixtape mode right there, I was listening to every single word that was said. That's a question. He said, if you're going to put the East Coast back on the map, I'm almost scared to ask. I'm scared of the answers. Is the East Coast off the map right now? Obviously, in a making noise sense, right? Is it off the map? Chat. Is the East Coast being paid attention to right now? Tay says, yes, it is. Yes, it is, as if it's off the map. Gunsmoke says, never. John Perkins says, East ain't been on the map since ATL. That's a lie. That ain't true. Come on now. ATL blew up and the South blew up about 2000. That's 24 years ago. Okay. East Coast has had some great impactful moments in the last 24 years. All right. Let's remember, people. Stop that. New York been off the map. Damn. He didn't even focus on the East Coast and say Jersey and Delaware and Philly and PA. He went straight to New York. So New York is responsible for the whole East Coast, huh? I guess so. Yes. It's been for a minute now. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Gary. Let's go, Griselda. Let's go. RJ Payne is from Philly. It's East Coast. Man, I wish that the industry would blow up RJ Payne as an artist, man. He's one of the best ever. Literally. That New York drill shit is trash. There's a couple artists that are very, very, that are dope. There's a couple. But there's a lot of them that's just like, this ain't nothing but a moment. This ain't nothing but the gang shit. This ain't nothing but Yeah, I admit that. But nah, there's some dope New York drill rappers. I ain't gonna. Yeah, I ain't pulling up no comments about Ice Spice, man. We already got her. Yeah, we know East Coast been off the map since '09. '09. '09. So that's almost 10 years, of course, after the South came on, but off the map since '09. Nah, man. I mean, Jaden dropped. We have 444, and I don't know, man. I'm going blank now. Shit. I don't know. Buffalo, New York, save New York. How so? Oh, is that because the Benny and all that? You mean? Yeah, Griselda is there. Never. And I'm from the South. The East is shout out to Jay. Yeah, that was just a quick question. That was just a quick question. I was curious what y'all was gonna say about that.
Release their best music ever, because besides Joey, who already is going to have a lot to fulfill and prove now because he just challenged the best rapper out, people like Benny and Conway need to rise up and get their pen working better than they ever have been, or
There you go.
even ASAP Rocky, who just needs to
There
get
you
out
go.
there and release his new album after putting it off for so long. Because seriously, besides the talent who has not just been producing the moments they are supposed to, whether because they have been declining as MCs or because they have not been showing up in the case of someone like ASAP Rocky, aside
Is ASAP why is ASAP not dropping? Is he just busy having kids with one of the baddest in the game? If you was ASAP, would you be focused on your album right now? I feel like there's even women in this chat that would fucking be like, no. Yo, shout out to Mr. Put in Work with the super chat. 1999 on the super chat, man. I appreciate you, man. Joey said King of New York, not East Coast. Interesting point. Well, we've been talking about the East Coast as a whole because we're not saying No, never in this did anybody ever say Compton. And Joey Badass kind of took a shot at the whole coast, at the West. Too much West Coast dick licking. That's what he. I mean, it's a reference line, right? But the reason why he said that is kind of it's still a shot. Well, it's a shot at us. It say, yo, what we doing out here? Like, why is everybody on Kendrick and the whole coast and all that right now? Everything that they do now is fire. Well, that's what happens when Kendrick lights it up like that. Everything underneath that. I said that example earlier about the South. I said when you got Ludacris and T.I. and Jeezy and Little John and the bigger artists and Outkast and Goody Mob, even the smaller guys was getting hot moments because it's just on fire like that. So he kind of made it coastal to a degree. Joey Badass. He did, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Right? It's not like it's just a Compton thing. I didn't hear that. Did I miss that? I didn't hear Joey Badass just focus on Compton. You know what I'm saying? So Joey Badass has to come out in this respect, and he has to make it coastal. And we here for it. We here for it as long as it stays hip hop. And I started the stream earlier saying like, yo, it's sensitive. The New York and the West Coast shit is sensitive. So if it can stay hip hop, they're great. But it's got to be coastal. You know, you can't just do New York as Joey Badass. You know what I'm saying? Now, nah, you can't. You can't. You can't. Damn, I almost just said New York overpowers Compton, so Compton kind of needs to bank on the whole coast. But no, Compton's legacy of rappers from there alone is heavy. Of course, so is New York. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it's coastal, B. We keeping it coastal, all right? We keep we keeping the doors open. Let all the boroughs come in. Let upstate New York come in. Let the tri-state come in. We keeping it coastal. We keeping it coastal. You know what I'm saying? You know, and there's more room for players at that point. Like I rather that from a music and a hip hop battling standpoint. You know, so is Joey Badass trying to carry a crown for New York? If I don't think he could really do it for New York, then I definitely don't think he could do it for the whole coast. Well, let me not say I don't think he can, because a new era is definitely different than me looking at the whole history of the coast. In terms of the whole history of the coast, Joey Badass could not be deemed what Kendrick was deemed on that stage. To me. but musically for this moment of New York and the East Coast being a little reduced, okay, them quieter than we would like to be right now. Can he grab the energy right now and say, "I'm here, we here, let's go"? He can help it. He can help it. I just don't think he can carry it fully across the finish line. I don't think that he's the one for that. But I'd love to be proven wrong. So, Mr. Put in Work, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super.
From them, New York is left with names like Ice Spice, 5 Foreign, and Lil Mabu leading the way. And if this is what you have behind you when you are trying to go against the West Coast right now, then you are not just in trouble, but you are going to get absolutely humiliated. So hopefully with what Joey has just done, this can...
Yeah, I'm a New Yorker, man. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. When you talk about even the smaller representations of a coast, I take Daylight on beat do I take Daylight on beat? As a battle rapper, we all know what Daylight is, but on beat, on nah, wait, I got slow up. I got slow down. I got slow down. Wait. Joey Badass has done too much on beat. Yeah, I take that back. I take that back. I take Daylight on beat over Ice Spice. Shit. But I can't disrespect Joey Badass's on beat catalog by just throwing Daylight in the mix like that. If we're talking about some of the more, the smaller artists. Level Scale says Daylight will wash Joey. And what? On beat? On beat? Um Daylight is wicked on beat. Daylight is wicked on beat, but I don't know. On beat, I don't know. 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 See, the game is just different on battle is different when we talking about sonically and musically. Let's go big screen for a second. Today I got time, cuz. It's different. It's different, B. If we talking about I'm about to say something that's gonna feel outlandish at first. And then if you're really in tune and if you think about it, you're gonna say, oh shit, he's right. On beat, you know who becomes like a super top tier battle rapper? Even the likes of a Tory Lanez. I said it. On beat, people like that come into the mix. And it's just like, yo, this guy musically is one of them. Right? It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because there's a lot of people on beat. Like, let's go back to using Joe Budden. We saw Joe Budden battle Hollow the Don, right? It was trash. It was trash. The conventional format of battle rap. Joe Budden got up there and he stunk the place up. Horrible. He said out of his own mouth, hey man, I was just checking something off my bucket list. You damn sure was. But on beat, what does Joe Budden do to these rappers? His diss tracks. Look at he had like 3 joints that went at Drake. They was incredible. Like he had shit going at Drake. He had shit going at 50, shit going at Banks, shit going at the game, shit going at on beat. He's fucked a lot of shit up on beat. Shit going at Ransom. Shout out to Ransom. Joe Budden has done so much on beat, man. That showed like don't play with that guy. Conventional battle rap, trash. And that's where the conversation changes for me, which is why I stopped myself because the battle rap, the pure conventional battle rapper side of me said Daylight could fuck some of these people up. And I stopped. I said, wait a minute. Shit changes on beat drastically. Let me not disrespect Joey Badass. I'd like to see it. Shout out to my nigga Day, man. I'd like to see it.
Actually be a control-like moment for the East Coast where the talented MCs realize they need to step it up and start producing their best music and just in general work to a point where these guys are no longer making the place that created hip-hop seem like a joke on the highest level. And now for Joey, he really better be ready to back these words up because to compete with not just Kendrick but the rest of the West right now, I mean, looking at the output from last year, it is not going to be an easy task. And I'm sure considering how Joey was calling out not just Kendrick but the entire coast here, beyond how Kendrick may respond.
Today I got time, cuz Ransom is one of those guys that it's like the same thing I say for RJ Payne. It's just like, damn, we have some talent out here that needed more of the industry and fan support. And it didn't happen. It didn't fucking happen. I tweeted it yesterday. It's so funny that you just mentioned Ransom. Shout out to Lo-Fi. But I tweeted yesterday. I said there's two songs that come to mind when you think about a thunderstorm and rain in the background as the song starts. One of them is Quiet Storm. The other one is Pain from Ransom. Right? Yo, the song Pain is so timeless. It's like I'm not even gonna try to diss anybody that watches this stream or watches this video when the live is over. If you are a hip hop head and you never listened to Ransom song Pain, just stop what you're doing, go on YouTube, type in Ransom Pain, listen to it, and just make sure that you are a person that's not out the loop. You don't want to be a person where it's just like, yo, man, you never heard Ransom and Pain? You're a hip hop? Like, nah. You know, it's just certain things. Like I had an argument with one of my close homies years ago because he wasn't up on Big L. And I was just like, you know, that starts to question you as a hip hop head. You know, it's just like, you don't have to know all his albums or his Children of the Corn or any of that. And you don't have to know that. You don't have to know his songs. Sometimes it's just the knowledge of the person, their impact. Maybe if they got a standout track, and then you're in the loop. Like you can say Big L, Ebonics. You're done. You're done. You're cool. Go somewhere. You're all right. You know what I'm saying? What you can't do is just go, Joe Button, pump it up. Nope. You're ignorant. You're not in the loop. You don't know. You can say Ransom. Tell me 10 songs. Damn, I can't name songs of 10 that's named. I know you got a shitload of shit with Joe Button and A Mafia and stack bundles and freestyles and mixtapes, but he got Pain. Okay, you're done. You're good. You're good money. You know what I'm saying? Real shit, man. It's hip hop heads around here, man. Tell 3-letter man, get the fuck on.
And we will see a lot of other MCs from all different levels and corners respond to this and just go back and forth with him as they try to prove what region is not just better right now. But now that all of this time has passed, which one is better all time? But now with the East and West Coast back and forth being on the brink of being stronger than it has been in decades, all because of Kendrick Lamar, and how even with rappers like Joey who have been in the shadows, now they are inspired to rap and try to make a run at the throne again. All in all, if this is what rap is going to look like going forward and MCs are actually going to be working for these greater goals and trying to make their music have a more meaningful impact than ever, as this competition is really bigger than just a single MC, all in all, rap is going to be in an even more exciting place than we thought, as we are really going to get even more passionate and inspired performances from the entire genre than we have seen in decades. And so now with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about this new song from Joey, how he is calling out Kendrick and the West Coast, and where do you think the impact of this song and the challenge he is throwing out both on his own coast and the West is going to go from here? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about.
Yeah, my memory just fucked me up for a second. You're talking about Redman. I mean, there shouldn't be anything ever called Muddy Waters unless it's owned by Redman. Shit like this, I've never been a huge proponent of. It's like Raekwon. I don't think there should have been Only Built for Cuban Links too. You know, it's just certain things like leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. Same thing in battle rap. Like, don't rematch certain battles. Certain albums ought to be left alone. Like Muddy Waters is leave it alone. Leave it alone. I remember the Hit Squad and all that, and K Solo and all that type of shit. And wasn't Das Effects in the Hit Squad too? Damn. I'm old.
About this, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now if you want to
did we like? He's right. He's right. Let me give him a like if I haven't. Like. Shout out to you, homie. Great content. Great content. Yeah, man. This has been a fun hip hop discussion stream. I ain't gonna lie, and it's been more interactive. I like the times when I get a chance to get off the topic and just rock with the chat. That's fun. EPMD. Yeah, yeah. Damn, son. Headbangers. The headbangers. Yeah. I'm here, y'all. It's me. Remember who I am. It's me. Miss AB, appreciate the super says you and me both. Oh, and proud, man. What do they say? You got two choices: you either die young or you get old, right? Which one do you want? Yeah, Dave East has been solid, man. He's been consistently solid out here repping. Yep, fuck with Dave East. Chiz is your second favorite in the Woo lyrically, and then when you talk about albums like Liquid Swords, like yeah, it could be compared, but is he this? He said, all right. So if he's your second favorite, you can't argue that. It's personal preference. But if we say who's the best, it's very, very hard for me to put GZA. I mean, Ghost to me is always going to be right, but is he better than Ray? Is he better than Deck? What's Deck's album? Something Surface, whatever. Is he better than Deck? I mean, they say Deck has one of the best verses literally in hip hop history. We all know what verse that is. But if you can have one of the best verses in hip hop history, they give one of that's dope. I'm a Staten Islander, and two Wu members have what are considered two of the best verses in entire hip hop history: Deck on Triumph and Capadonna. Keep that so strong. Yeah, but Jizz is that. He's that. I was never big on Master Killer. He's the guy that I was like, I ain't gonna lie. Master Killer to me was just like I could do without him, you know, in the whole mix of things. Yeah, oh, y'all just turned it real quick into a Woo a Woo discussion. y'all turned it quick into a Woo discussion in the chat. When? Hold on, I gotta check that. When? I'll be our album. When? Is this recent? Hold on. Let me get up in a loop. I might do a Wham reaction. I don't know if I should do it edited the way I did GNX or if I should do it live with y'all. I'm gonna ask y'all that in the chat in a second. Give me a second. But I'll be our album drop. Coba's Coming, Deluxe Edition 2024. Is this it? Let me come to the chat. What's the name of Al Bial's album? I'll fuck with Al Bial. What's the name of Al Bial? Al Bial got an album that just dropped? I know he just did the joint with Jadakiss once again, but Al Bial album. Is it this Coba's Coming? Because I know you had a Coba mixtape, which is dope. That's all for the Planet of the Apes type shit. Deluxe. Is this it? Coba's Coming, Deluxe Edition. Is this it? When did this come out? Oh, this right here says release October 4th, 2024. I didn't even listen to this. This Coba's Coming Deluxe Edition. Okay, I'm playing that in the gym today. That and Wham. Damn, I gotta do Wham today too. Fuck. I see a lot of shit that says unreleased though. Let me scroll up in the chat real quick. The Coba's Coming? Is it brand new? What I just looked at saw said October. Coba's Coming, that's the latest shit. I fuck with Al Bial. I really fuck with Al Bial. This is my favorite. I'll pull it up on screen with y'all. I'm not supposed to be playing music, but hold on. Let me bring it up on screen. I'm gonna show y'all what might be my favorite Al Bial song. Y'all can see my screen. Yeah, y'all can see my screen. If you go to YouTube and you type in Al Bial and you type in Lucifer, that's it. That right there, boy. Oh my God. That's my favorite Al Bial song, I think. Gladiator! Nah, man, you can't play music. You heard the lyric, that quick lyric, real quick. That's a topic within itself. Like Al Bial, he's got some music where he's talking about shit. He's talking about some street shit that I know we've been doing a lot of people getting indicted over lyrics. Al Bial's got a lot of lyrics and a lot of songs. I mean, they old. I don't know what he's been doing recently. He got a lot of old songs talking about shit. Is like, oh, you're naming names and situations and careful. But nah, Lucifer by Al Bial, that is my shit. That is absolutely my shit. You ain't do shit but post status. Uh, you putting together a playlist for us. I'm really, really like that. I really, really am. I claim that. I claim that. That's why I fuck with baller and I slap three letter man around so much because in the entire realm of battle rap, that is my title. Like nobody can fuck with me with hip hop. No, I'm saying that. Nobody. I want anybody to step up and contest it. And Three Letterman has been trying for like the last 2 years. And I slap him around every once in a while when I walk away. But that is my title. Nobody knows more hip hop and has consumed more hip hop music. I feel like in the realm of battle rap, nobody owns more hip hop music than me. Nobody is nobody. Nobody. The moment somebody puts their music collection online as if it's a competition with me, it's gonna be like I'm gonna lights out somebody. It's gonna then be like, yo, what the fuck does this nigga have? Look at this nigga's collection. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for somebody to play with me and show. Because every time Three Letter Man, what Three Letter Man will do is he'll post a song like a YouTube link, and then I'll take that YouTube link, that song, and I'll just show him the actual album. Me holding the album, like use a fucking digital internet, nigga. You could just if I put up some lyrics, you're gonna go fucking Google it real quick. Like, oh, I do it. Like, nah. Like, I really like y'all got this shit twisted. Three letter man. What the fuck is a three letter man? What is that? Like how does three letter man represent hip hop at that level? He's a hip hop guy, cool. But at that, why? Because he interviewed a couple fucking legends. That means him now. Like he was there in the trend. He was really, 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 really in that. No, he didn't do half of what I did. You know what I'm saying? I full day trips to Jamaica Ave to take my what's the name of the store that's right across the street from the fucking Jamaican beef patty spot? Do y'all know what I'm talking about right now? Legendary. I remember I met Pat Poose in there one time because he was dropping off his election day mixtapes. And I asked him, I was just like, yo, you got the Beast from the East mixtape on you? I could tell stories about this shit. Like, some of y'all don't even know what the fuck I'm talking. Three letter man don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about if I say like Pap election day or the Beast from the East. Like, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. Like, he wastes my time, but I entertain it because he's the only person that tries to fight with me in this shit. So I'll slap him around. I'm like, fuck it. Fuck it. Fucking three letter man. I got some fucking nerve. He call out commercial hits. That's what three letter man could do. You ever hear Busta Rhymes scenario? He'll tweet me shit like that. I was like, do you know Jay-Z and Eminem Renegade? Like, dude, are you serious? You ever hear the lyrics? Dead in the middle of little Italy, little did we know we rid of the middleman who did it to Italy. Like, I seen grandmothers rap that shit. That's as far as you go when it comes to capital punishment and yeah, baby. That's as far as you go. This nigga's he's fucking ass with that shit. He's fucking ass. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. Three letter man. I hope y'all send him this at him. Send him this fucking live and timestamp for his corny ass. fuck is he doing? The fuck is he doing? I had to send him a hunting season the other day by Stack and the Riot Squad. Like people focus so much on Stack. I even have Core 2G's mixtapes. Like he's in the wrong realm. He needs to go play with the mid tiers. I'm God tier with this. I'm fucking agitated right now thinking about it. Can y'all tell? I'm pissed off and agitated thinking about it right now with this guy. I'm pissed the fuck off. If YouTube would allow us to play music, I would just do like a verses with him for y'all or some shit like that, and just show the levels. Just like it agitates the fuck out of me that he even thinks, even tries. It's just like it pisses me off. It pisses me the fuck off. Tell him holla at me. Elliot Wilson joy. That's funny. Shout out to True Forward the building, man. What's up? Do you got any hip hop knowledge to add to this space, youngin? Huh? Young True Forward, man. You're not old enough. You're not old enough, man. All right. Listen, I respect and appreciate the youthful nature and the youthfulness of some of y'all in this chat. But I'm 59 years old, which means that nah, I'm lying. But come on, y'all. What's wrong with y'all? The Mafia movie list? Like what was I talking about? Like a top 10? That ain't easy. Damn, Jay switching me off of music and taking me to movie. Today I got time. We hanging out. Damn. You switching me to movie. Don't do that. Because they can't fuck with me over there neither. They can't fuck with me over there. Remember when y'all used to think that Shotgun Suge was some heavy movie guy because he had a lot of rap or movie related bars? Shotgun Suge just knows a couple of hood movies and that's it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm top tier with my movie game. I just came into top tier when it comes to series because I'm a guy that saw Breaking Bad like last year. I ain't gonna lie. I just started being top tier with series. I've been top tier with movies. Hip hop, I'm God tier. All right. There's no level above where I am, but I'm at whoever's up there with me, cool, with peers then. But there's no level above me when it comes to hip hop. Movies, I ain't God tier level of movie. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I'm heavy, but I ain't God tier with movies. No, it wouldn't. I'm tired of this nigga, man. No, it wouldn't. It'd be a waste of y'all time because 3 Letter Man. I'm telling you, the shit that he fucking sends me on Twitter, it's like, yo, dude. Like, dude, like he sent me commercial shit, like commercial hits. You ever hear Eminem Hi, My Name Is? And it's like throwing shit at this nigga. Like the way he throws his pen, like he'll ask me something like that. I was like, dude, I can name rappers you never heard of. I tweeted him the other day about Sonya Blade. I was like, you ever hear about the female cannabis, Sonya Blade? I know what he did. He went and Googled. That's why I need to do a live with him to catch him in the spot. I know what he does. I'll be fucking him over, and then he just Googles what I'm asking him real quick, and then he comes back with an answer. Yeah, I know Sonya Blade. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I could tell, and that's why he be so slow with his fucking reactions sometimes. Like he's slow. He's slow because he's not of that level. Drex, salute, homie. Appreciate you. What's up with everyone jumping on Fat Joe? I seen that. Oh, y'all trying to switch topics all over the place. I seen that. I left it alone. I think it was a misstep. I got a lot of respect for Fat Joe, man. I think it was a misstep. You know, we have them. We have them. We have our accents. Sometimes we say things that maybe if we thought about it a little bit more, we might have not said what we said. Or, you know, I want to be. Listen, when I make my mistakes or whatever over the years, you know, just if I get a chance to clean it up, or y'all look at it and be like, we know him a little bit better than that. And that's what I'm saying for Fat Joe. Like, I don't think Fat Joe is off the deep end with that or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it was a misstep, man. He's one of ours, man. We still are here to protect Fat Joe. That's my thing. I know it's a big topic and everybody gonna get on his heels right now. And When you have a misstep, that's what's gonna happen in the world of the internet and social media. But Fat Joe is still one of ours, and we're not going to forget that. So come on. But hold on, real quick. Fat Joe, I'm gonna tell you one of the funniest things Fat Joe ever did. Fat Joe now he's making more money than he was doing. Obviously, back in the day, he's got more success now. He's probably got more world fame than he had back then. Of course, because of the power of the internet and social media now being here from back in the day when it wasn't the internet didn't even exist when he came out, right? The funniest thing though is them asking him, I think it was a talk show or something. They asked him like, what does Joey crack mean? He said because he was heavy, he said he was fat. When he would stand up, the crack of his ass would always show. And I just stared at him like, did you really just try to tell white America that that's what Joey crack really meant? Are you serious? Like, how dare you disrespect the legacy that we supported? That's what Joey crack means. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. What y'all on in there? What y'all on in there? Hold on. What y'all on in here? Oh, DJ didn't like me trying to take it easy on Fat Joe. He said it's not a misstep. He don't like me taking it easy on Joe. Come on, man. I'm just saying, you know what happens, man? Our our legends, our Hall of Famers, our goats. What happens is we make a mistake and we damn near throw out everything that they've done and everything they stood for and represented. And that's what I'm trying to do right now with Joe. I know people might be watching this right now, like, yo, you kind of taking it easy on Joe right now, ARP. It's because he's done so much for the culture and he's been involved and he's really, really one of us. So I don't know. I got so much respect and appreciation for what Fat Joe has done and what he's represented over the years, all this time. I just don't want to be the guy that's why I didn't cover the whole topic. I was like, I'll leave it alone. I didn't want to be the guy to just come out and be like, yo, fuck. Like, I see a lot of people doing that. It's like, damn, y'all would do me like that. Like, I could give y'all like 11 years of like, this is who this guy ARP really is. And then I can make a mistake or have a misstep, air quotes misstep. And y'all just want to throw all my shit away. Like, damn. Now, certain shit you can't like recover for. Like, there's certain if like a weird case, like on some Kendrick shit. Like, hey, like ARP, you did what? Nah, man. Like it was just proven about. I'm just gonna use Jay-Z. It was just proven about some 13-year-old. I'm not saying fucking accused. I'm saying proven. Then I don't deserve to be here at all. I don't deserve to be on camera. I don't deserve to say a fucking word to y'all. I better go find a rock to hide under. Anybody, any man, women too. You know what I'm saying? But damn, all this shit, like if I say something, it's like, oh shit, like he just disrespected women by saying that. Like if I'm up here joking and I say, like, yo, the WNBA is trash. And that just gets blown up you know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to try to throw away my 11 years. So I'm trying to do on to Joe what I think he's earned. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. I'm not trying to say any fuck up, but that's what I'm trying to do with Joe. I mean, I want to practice what I preach in that. I want the same type of like, all right, like let him slide now. We're gonna hold his feet to the fire for a second. We're gonna try to learn him a lesson, but after that, that's still one of our legends, man. Take care of him. You know what I'm saying? Like I would want the same. I would want the fucking same. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He brought us Big Pun. That gets him a couple get out of jail free cards. You know what I'm saying? Like oh shit. Am I the first take on the internet that you guys have ever heard like that speak towards the Fat Joe situation? If so, clip it and put it on Twitter. I appreciate it. I'm cool with clips of the podcast on Twitter. Quarter Lab ain't gonna really go crazy. It's the battles that we have an issue with these days. So I'm cool with podcast clips. Y'all have fun. Clip it up if you want to. It's all good. Come on, man. What's wrong with y'all? I mean, I don't know that. That seems to have always been a very, very complex situation, dog. I don't know. Yeah, nah, I seen a lot about that over the years, and I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't know. The whole Terror Squad though, man, they had a nice little movement. Sunkiss and wasn't Armageddon in there too? Yeah. We know his arch nemesis over the years, right? Actually had a fight, right? So wish I could bring Pun back. Bow, bitch, run that. Bitch, run that. Bitch, going down what? Sunday? January 5th? Chrome 23, shout the Rem. Shotgun Sugar versus Easy to Block. You dig? Okay. I hung out. We finished the topics and everything over 35 minutes ago, probably. This was a hangout time. So thank you everybody for, having some fun. We did a little bit of hip hop talk. Every once in a while, you're gonna see streams like this where we cover the topic and then we hang around. Other times we're gonna cover the topic and then I gotta get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Go ahead and watch that last stream too. If you missed yesterday's stream, the WAC 100 shit, man. I really enjoyed that stream with y'all. I think we made some great points that are also important to all of us, man. Each one teach one. Today's was fun as well too, man. Today we went way more hip hop. As you see, Crazy Bronx, I didn't say his name because I feel like that whole shit has just been so toxic forever. You know, Cuban Link blames them for his face get. You know what? You're gonna start me up. I'm getting off of this shit. I'm out of here, man. Before we start getting too little too crazy right now with our hip hop history, man. Fuck around, get in trouble.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of and shout out to the members.